Zaporizhzhia in Ukraine for another huge 40 minutes of international basketball action. Ukraine will take on the European champion Slovenia, and for both of these countries, their hopes of making it to the World Cup finals hang by a thread. Expect high emotions here in the arena with so much at stake for both these teams. And here's the schedule for Group I across this qualification window. And let's look at those first games. Turkey against Spain in Ankara tipped off just under an hour ago. They're in the half-time break at the moment, whilst the game between Latvia and Montenegro is due to tip off in a little over half an hour's time. There's your standings for you. Spain sit pretty at the top of Group I with a 7-1 record. Turkey looking good as well, and that will leave the final place for qualification being fought between Latvia, Montenegro and the Ukraine. And this is obviously all part of a new competition structure, a new qualification structure for the World Cup. And for the first time, qualification is taking place across the globe in that common international windows. I mean, this has meant that fans are seeing their teams play more often on home soil than ever before. And it's certainly been received well. Capacity of crowds across the world. And in Europe, there are 12 places up for grabs. 4 have already been taken by the Czech Republic, Germany, Greece and Lithuania, who will be next to book their plane tickets for China next year. We'll have to wait and see. Slovenia are now being introduced to the crowd here in the arena. They may be reigning European champions, but their qualification campaign for this World Cup hasn't gone to plan so far. They really are back up against the ropes at the moment, and they'll pretty much need to win all 4 of their remaining games to stand a chance of qualification. And they'll also have to hope that results fall their way in other games as well. And now for Ukraine to be introduced to the crowd here in the arena. And how much would it mean to them to make it through to back-to-back World Cup finals? 2014 in Spain was their first appearance at the big show, and a return in 2019 really would be a dream come true for Ukrainian basketball. However, to make that happen, they're going to need a win against Slovenia here. That really is a big step forward, and then they've got to travel to Spain on Sunday, which surely is one of the toughest games of their qualification campaign so far. Certainly an up-and-coming basketball nation, though, Ukraine. They're really starting to make people take notice. And you do wonder, do they have the 40 minutes in them tonight to turn over the European champions? We'll have to wait and see. We're only moments away from the start of the game here in Zaporizhzhia. And the crowd starting to file into the stands. And before we get to the action, which is a little over 6 minutes away, we're going to have the national anthems for both teams. First, we'll have the national anthem for Slovenia, and then it will be the Ukrainian national anthem.
Лунає державний гімн України.
Wonderful renditions there of both national anthems, and it really does set the scene for another wonderful evening of international basketball, and it applies some pressure to the players as they know it's the pride and the passion of their countrymen and women that they're playing for. But most of these players will relish that opportunity as they exchange gifts on half court, and that's the last of the pleasantries before they go battle against each other. And so much to play for both these countries. Slovenia really are at the last chance saloon with regards to qualification. And Ukraine aren't much further on. Both teams know a win tonight is absolutely critical to keep their hopes alive. And they'll be keen to make sure that they do. As most people are looking forward to that World Cup finals in China next year. It's likely to be one of the biggest and best World Cups ever within international basketball. And there's our roster for Slovenia. It's hard really to look past that young man Chanchai. He's really stepped out of the shadows of some of the bigger names in Slovenian basketball during this World Cup campaign. He's averaged 12.1 points per game. And there's your starting five. Hrovat, Dimec, Chanchar, Muric and Rebec will be the starting five for Slovenia. Plenty of experience and strength in that five. And Ukraine will have to work hard to come away with the win this evening, but they've certainly got the talent in their roster as well. Here's the Ukrainian roster. They've got 5 players, however, making their first appearance in these qualifiers, and they'll be leaning heavily on that big man, Kravtsov. He hasn't disappointed so far. 13.4 points and 6.3 rebounds per game across qualification. He's really taken the team on his shoulders, and here's their starting 5. Bobrov, Kravtsov, Blizniak. Oh, and our officials as well. Let's make sure we don't forget them. Very important in proceedings. Lorenzo Baldini of Italy, Marcos Michailidis of Switzerland, and Wojciech Aliszka of Poland will be patrolling the hardwood, making sure everything is above board and to the rulebook. And plenty of pressure on his shoulders in his first campaign as head coach. Coach Trifanovic will know what the challenge is ahead and get his team ready. And at the other end of the hardwood, Evgen Merzin will be in a similar position. Maybe not as much expectation on the Ukrainian team, but still plenty of passion and pride in their basketball. And they'll be wanting to make sure that they do their country proud. And this World Cup has been received well all over the world. And if you want to stay ahead of the game and make sure you know exactly what's going on in the World Cup action, make sure you download the official FIBA World Cup app. It's available on Android as well as iOS, so there's no reason for you not to download it. Make sure you download it onto your smart devices, and you'll get all the news, views and highlights from around the world on what is some of the best basketball you will see. If you feel like sharing any of it on your social media as well, make sure you use hashtag #ThisIsMyHouse. Let's get it trending across the globe on as many social media platforms as we can. Plenty of highlight clips for you guys to share. And let's share the love for what has been a wonderful campaign of international basketball. And we're about to have a minute's silence for Patrick Baumann, the FIBA Secretary General. Unbelievably, sadly, passed away last month, middle of October, aged just 51 years old. Such a revolutionary man within basketball circles. He played, coached and ref basketball. He's been at FIBA since '94. He's been the Secretary General for 15 years and really was a influential part of the transformation of international basketball. And we, all basketball fans across the world, are in a debt of gratitude for how much he put into basketball globally, and our thoughts certainly go out to his wife and 2 children at this very sad time. But we're going to have a minute's silence for Patrick Baumann now.
Як знак турботи і солідарності
Wonderfully respected within the arena, and rightfully so. Such a great loss to world basketball. An absolute revolutionary man, dedicated to the sport, and let's hope we can carry on developing the sport he loved in his vision and in his memory. But he will have no doubt looked forward to a game like we've got here this evening as Ukraine and Slovenia battle it out. And here we go. 40 minutes of international basketball is underway, and Ukraine will get us underway. A long shot, Lepovi, I think, for three. Yes, nails it straight away, and what a way to start the game. As Lepovi gets things underway for Ukraine, that'll settle some nerves early. Dimets now, back to Rebets. Nice ball movement here by Slovenia early on. They'll want to find the basket pretty soon as well, though. Chanchar looks to go to work. He's had it knocked away, though, and Kravtsov will come away with it. And Lepovi once again put the Jets on to bring it up the floor. Inside, strong move, and Lepovi gets himself another two. Dimets now looking to go backdoor to Rebets. Nice pass, Chanchar for three. Oh, he's short with that attempt. Rebets battles down the rebound though. And it's knocked away, and Ukraine will come away with it again. They're out to an early 5-point lead. All from that man Lepovi. Now into Kravtsov. Looking for the cut. Blizniak can't hold on to it though. And it's thrown away again, and Lepovi stolen it away this time. He's out at the races. Little fake, right hand, bit too heavy, but he gets the roll. And my goodness me, what a start to the game for Ukraine. Out to a very early 7-point lead, and already Slovenia struggling here. They're forced to call a timeout very early in this game. Coach Trifanovic will not be happy with what he's seen so far from his team. Let's jump into the huddle and listen to what he's got to say.
Take your block, Verdi. Take your block. Come on. Защита еще продолжает. Коммуникация, разговоры.
What a start for that man there, Lepovi. He has had an absolute stormer of a start. We're just over 2 minutes into the game. He's already got himself 7 points and a steal. And Slovenia already looking a little bit ropey. And wise move by Coach Trifanovic to call a timeout and ask maybe for a little bit more toughness from his team. He's been lacking in that first 2 minutes. Coming out a little bit weaker than he'll have wanted. Rebets now. Looking for options, comes to Muric, back to Dimets. He manages to find Hrovat. Hrovat pulls up. Oh, that's a nice pass inside to Dimets, though. Beautiful assist there. Gregor Hrovat. Blizniak now being pressured by Muric. Manages to get it into the hands of Bobrov, who finds Kravtsov, and it's stolen away, but the foul's going to be called. Looks like that one's going to be called on Rebets. And he really has been a critical man. And Lepovi's been having a great season domestically. From FAS, he's been plying his trade there this season. And they've had a huge season in the Basketball Champions League. Now into the hands of Blizniak, back to Lepovi. Bobrov now. Nice skip pass. Blizniak looking to go inside. Pulls up. Big rejection by Chanchar. Raybets is out of the races. 3-on-2 break, but he's going to slow it down. Hands it off back to Hrovat. Right hand float. Gets a 2 to go. And Slovenia bring the Ukrainian lead down to just 3 with 3 minutes gone in this first quarter. Kravtsov now looking for options. Goes to Blizniak on the wing. Oh, nice catch and shoot. It's a little bit too heavy that time though, and Slovenia will come away with it. A little bit static on the offensive end at the moment, Slovenia. Raybet steps back for the long 3. Is he going to get the roll? He's not this time, and once again, Lepovi's the man in the right place at the right time for Ukraine. Kravtsov, easy 2 off the glass. And Ukraine are feeling it so far. Chanchar now. Back to Hrovat. Uses a screen from Dimets. To Muric in the corner for 3. He's too heavy, and Slovenia look very stagnant offensively at the moment. No real movement. Ball's moving around the perimeter, that's all. And that man there, Coach Merzin, will be happy with what he's seen from his team. Oh, beautiful interior pass. Kravtsov will be the happy recipient of that one. Stosvanov trying to fight his way over the screen. Out to Raybets now, though. He floats inside. Are they going to play a continuation, or is it going to be on the floor as Raybets drives to the basket strong? And Orban Dernik will come into the game for Slovenia. This is his first World Cup qualifiers action of this campaign. Dimets will go to the bench. 5.5 minutes left in this first quarter. Hrovat for 3. In and out. Doesn't get the luck of the roll that time, and Bobrov cleans up the glass for Ukraine. Bobrov now tries to skip past, but it's intercepted by Muric. Muric out in transition. Bobrov says, not in my house. Swats that one away, and Muric looked like he might have been trying a little bit too hard to draw the contact rather than focusing on getting the 2. Muric now from the elbow. Drains the easy 2. Lepovi a little bit slow round the screen. And Ukrainian lead down to 5. Blizniak now looking for options. Tries to float it inside to Kravtsov. He's going to go hard, but he's going to get fouled, and it's a little bit of a get out of jail free card there for Kravtsov. He'd been pinned down on the baseline under the backboard. Really had absolutely nowhere to go, and if Hrovat had been sensible, just pin him in, hands straight up, and Kravtsov wouldn't have been able to find an exterior pass, and likely to have turned the ball over in that situation. Instead, Ukraine will get the ball and get a new 14 seconds. Thought that was going to be a catch and shoot there from Stosvanov. Oh, nice pass inside to Bobrov. Easy 2, and Ukraine are playing some absolutely beautiful team basketball right now. And Raybets finds the lane for an easy 2. Slovenia slowly but surely warming into this one. Lepovi now hands it back to Bobrov, to Kravtsov, and Ukraine certainly do move well on the offensive end. They look for some mismatches. Blizniak now to Kravtsov. Long shot for him, but gets it to go. And as you saw from how Slovenia matched up with him, he's not known for his long shooting. He doesn't have range in his game, but he's showed that not to be true right there. Back to Muric. Muric steps back, little 1-foot jumper. No good, comes up short. And once again, Bobrov's in the right place. Offensive foul is going to be called on Bobrov as he plows into Hrovat. And Alexander Hrovat will come into the game. Matthias shooting guard, 21 years old. Plays along Lepovi in Greece. And it's always good to have domestic teammates on the national team. They know how each other plays. They have a common connection. Muric now back to Hrovat for three. In and out, and they certainly haven't got the luck of the roll so far here, Slovenia. 3.5 minutes to go in this first quarter. They trail Ukraine by 7. Chanchar loses footing, almost looked like a travel. But instead it'll be a turnover, and Bobrov has just thrown it away. Hrovat will pick it up. And the foul's going to be called. I think that one's... Stosvanov will be called for the foul. That will be the 4th team foul of the quarter for Ukraine. As Dimets comes back into the game for Slovenia. Very slow offensive start so far for Slovenia. They've had open shots, just not been able to get them to drop so far. As Ukraine drop into a 2-3 zone. Reasonably fluid zone though. Long jumper, and the foul's going to be called on Bobrov. He chased that one out. Officials call a touch on the arm of the shooter. I think in most coaches' handbooks that's a crime, and it's going to see him go to the bench as Serhii Pavlov will come into the game. It's his first World Cup qualifying action, and there's Chanchar for the three. We couldn't quite see Bobrov's foul. But Chanchar will go to the line for 2 shots. 75% free throw shooter before the game in these qualifiers. Averaging 12.1 points per game, 3.3 rebounds. Just 21 years old. He really is the next wave of Slovenian superstar to come through the ranks. You can see a partnership between him and Luka Doncic, who's lighting up the NBA at the moment, carrying on for years to come in the green of Slovenia. Many a bright shoots for their national team's future. As Slovenia applies some zonal pressure, Ukraine quickly break it, but sometimes that's all you want. You want to slow them down a bit, burn some of their shot clock, and that seems to have worked a bit. It's taken about 5-6 seconds off them, but Hovey now inside to Kravtsov and just uses his pure strength to bang his way inside the paint. Gets the 2 off the glass, and Hrovat now is fouled on his way to the basket. Great to have a player like Matic Hrovat in your team when things aren't going your way. Just a little bit of explosion, a little bit of pace can change everything. Martinenko will come into the game for his first World Cup qualifying appearance as well. Hrovat though at the line for 2 shots. 69% so far through these qualifiers. Had a good game against Latvia in the last qualification window. 10 points, 4 assists for him. A bright spark for the future of Slovenia. Just 23 years old. Matic Hrovat. And this is the second, but rebound by Hrovat, and he gets it to go. And that's brought it down to just a 3-point lead for Ukraine, and Slovenia apply a bit more pressure. Martinenko now with the ball, looks for options in front of him, can't find anything, finds Pavlov into Kravtsov, comes back out now to Boyarkin. Martinenko for 3, way too heavy with that one, and Hrovat will come away with some pace. Goes inside, Chanchar takes a bit of contact, can't get it to go, and it's off the hands. And Ziga Dimets, be a Ukrainian ball on the baseline. Real battle under the basket for the board. Slovenia have some form of zonal pressure. Looks a little bit like a 1-2-1-1 zone press. Looks like it's just at the moment though designed to slow Ukraine down rather than take the ball away. Boyarkin now at the top. Offensive foul is going to be called. That one's going to be on Kravtsov. Off the ball. Not what you need when your opponents have just battled their way back within 3. One possession ball game, and you're going to turn the ball over. Kravtsov will go to the bench now. Let's see if we can see it. Not sure that camera angle is going to show us what happens. No, it was an off the ball foul. Only his first foul for Kravtsov. 8 points so far though, so a pretty good opening quarter shift from him. Rebets now using the screen from Dimets. Hrovat, oh, beautiful spin move and a little scoop off the glass for 2. That takes him up to 8 points personal. And a turnover now as Ukraine are starting to feel the pressure. Slovenia within 1, 1:25 left in this quarter. Makovic comes into the game for Slovenia, but a timeout has been called by Coach Merzin. He's not happy with how his team have played in his closing stages of the first quarter and wants to talk things over. Plenty to talk about. They had a nice early lead, but it's down to just 1 point now, and they've just handed the ball back to Slovenia. Could Slovenia take their first lead of the game? Let's jump into this Ukrainian timeout huddle and listen to what Coach Merzin has to say. Certainly one of the tales for the Slovenian comeback is that 6 turnovers by Ukraine. That's cost them, and that's brought Slovenia back into it. That said, the big man Kravtsov has got off to an early start. He's on 8 points. For Ukraine, they're going to need to look after possession a little bit more if they want to extend their lead back out. 1:25 left here in the first quarter. Ukraine lead by a single point over Slovenia. Rebets now inbounds it to Hrovat. Dimets sets the screen. He's got to be careful though, he's moving, and Hrovat has lost his footing and thrown it straight out of bounds. It's going to be a turnover. Hrovat will go to the bench, and Mesicek will come into the action for the first time. Slovenia still in their 1-2-1-1 press. Reasonably quickly broken here by Ukraine though, but it has taken 5-6 seconds off the shot clock. Boyakin now with the ball at the top. Going to find Blizniak. Back to Boyakin. Falls away, he gets the 2 to go. A wonderful shot from the wing as Pavlov gets in the scoring form. Rebets gets away with one there through a tough pass. Mesicek to catch, but it's come off the legs and feet of Ukraine. So it's still going to be a Slovenian ball on the baseline as we've got a little under 45 seconds remaining here in the first quarter in what has been an intriguing affair, to say the least. Chabashik now hands it off to Mesicek. Back to Rebets, and Dimets is going to set the screen a little bit. A 2-man game, and Rebets almost loses control again. He's going to pull up for the fadeaway. Too heavy. Dimets with the rebound though. Brings Slovenia within 1. About a 3-second differential between the first quarter clock and the shot clock. Boyakin now. Blizniak sets the screen, as does Pavlov. Back to Blizniak, back to Boyakin. Nice intricate play here by Ukraine, but nothing opening up inside, and the foul is going to be called on Mesicek, and it's a smart foul. They've got fouls to give. He's not going to send him to the line, and they've burnt plenty of time off the clock, but it is going to give Ukraine the final possession of this first quarter as we see Alexander Kovets check back into the game. 7.6 seconds for Ukraine to try and extend their lead. Boyakin now. Catch and shoot for him in the corner. Ah, beautiful play by Ihor Boyakin for three. Dimec throws the long shot to finish the first quarter, but Ukraine will be happy to finish that one on a high. An intriguing first 10 minutes of action here in Ukraine as they hold 22-18 lead over Slovenia. 10 minutes of action gone so far here. 30 minutes to go in what is an intriguing World Cup qualifier between these two. So much at stake. Welcome back to Zaporizhzhia in Ukraine for the World Cup qualifier between Ukraine and Slovenia. At the first quarter break, Ukraine lead this one 22-18. High shooting percentages there from Ukraine. Slovenia got out of the traps a little bit slowly. That man there, Lepovi, certainly didn't. He quickly raced out to a 7.1 steal box score for him. And Slovenia gradually fought their way back into this quarter. But that man there, Kravtsov, had a strong first 10 minutes, scored himself 8 points and a steal to his name. Whereas Slovenia, they're currently being led by Hrovat. He's got 6 points. But still plenty to play for and so much at stake for both of these teams. Ukraine will be happy to have finished the first quarter well. The corner ball three for Ihor Boyakin was much appreciated. Got their lead back out to 4 points at the end of the first quarter. But still so much left in this one. Plenty of twists and turns in this soap opera. And remember, both these teams' World Cup dreams really are on shaky ground at the moment. Both of them will want to come away from this qualification window with 2 wins added to their tally if they want to book themselves on a plane to China for the World Cup finals next year. But here we go. The second quarter of action is underway here in Zaporizhzhia, and Slovenia will want to get things going a little bit quicker than they did in the first quarter. Mesicek now to Makovic. To Chabashik. Goes baseline. Nothing there. Comes back out. Good ball movement. Mesicek for three. Can't get it to go. Rebound for Pavlov, and Boyakin now inside. Nice quick transition basketball for Ukraine, and Gerin is the lucky recipient of that break. Gets himself the 2 off the glass. Chabashik now. Can't get it to go again, and Slovenia are living and dying by the 3 at the moment. Coach Trevinovic knows that only too well. Blizniak now for Ukraine. Hands it off. Back to Blizniak now. Into the corner. Pavlov for 3. He's up short on that one. Rebound's going to be pulled in by Jakub Chabashik, and they're slow bringing the ball up the floor at the moment, Slovenia. They've had most of their joy when they've been a little bit quicker. And Rabets has accelerated the pace of the game offensively. Ratets now with the ball. Step back jumper for 2. No joy, and once again, Ukraine will be happy with them taking long jumpers. Almost stolen away from Boyakin. Into the corner. Wide open this time for Myronenko. He can't make Slovenia pay. Ukrainian crowd really is starting to get into things. They can sense another upset on their hands. Oh, that's a tough move, and it's a brave move by Mesicek. He went in amongst the trees and found it impossible to score. And Chanchar will come back into the game for Slovenia as Makovic goes to the bench. And you see the pressure there sitting on Yevgen Merzin's shoulders. Anyone that says coaches aren't invested in the game as the players are greatly mistaken. Takes a certain type of person to take on a coaching position, particularly on a national team. Lesniak now skips it to Lepovi, fakes a three, looks to go inside, and the foul's going to be called on Jabashik. And that's another foul, team foul for Slovenia. And Muric will come back into the action. Just the second team foul of the quarter, but we're only 2 minutes in, so that could cause Slovenia problems as we progress in this second quarter. Lepovi inbounds it to Blizniak. Back to Lepovi. Oh, nice little hesitation, and one! Beautiful play, Alexander Lepovi. He's got the Slovenians exactly where he wants them. He's up to 9 points personal now, and that little hesitation got Muric on the back foot. Wonderful, wonderful play. Such a simple play, but so effective. And Lepovi will go to the line for the bonus. 80% shooter before tonight's game. 4 from 4 from the field, 3 assists. He has certainly come to play. He's up to double digits, first player to make it to double digit scoring on either team this evening. Chanchar now to Dimets. Hands it back to Muric. Into Dimets. Is he going to go to work in the low post? Floats up the right hander but can't get it to go, and clash of heads there between Lepovi and Postozvanov. And Lepovi, I think, has got the worst of it. Let's have a look, both players fighting for it, and yeah, it looks like the side of Postozvanov head clashed into Lepovi's, but Slovenian fans will be glad to see Matic Rebec back in. He certainly is a bit of a spark for the Slovenian team, puts a little bit more pace into their offense. Lesniak now goes inside to Geron. Geron looking to work hard against Dimets, and really great defense there by Ziga Dimets. Rebec can't take the three. He's already lost his dribble. He's going to have to hand it off to Muric. Rebec now skips it to the corner. Masacek can't get the jumper to go, but Muric will grab the rebound. Rebec wide open for three. Oh, I really needed to nail that one, and Ukraine are out to a 9-point lead here. Big mismatch down in the low post. Almost looked like a travel, but it's a wonderful handoff. And Bobrov will get the easy two. Oh, the hard work there done, though, by Geron. Rebec's backdoor pass. Wonderful backdoor pass. And Mesicek gets the and one. Beautiful vision there by Matic Rebec. And that's exactly the spark that Slovenia needed. Their offense certainly stagnant in this second quarter. It's only their first score of the second quarter, believe it or not, with 3.5 minutes in. They've only just troubled the score table. Mesicek, 88% free throw shooter, pretty much automatic from the charity stripe. Slovenia once again applying some zonal pressure, but Bobrov breaks through it for Ukraine. And Kravtsov is back into the game, making a nuisance of himself as Corsi is having to work extremely hard to stop Kravtsov finding position, but it's worked, and Ukraine have had to take a tough perimeter shot. Rebec now looking to break inside, and that's a tough pass for a big man like Chanchar to pick up. Blizniak floats to the basket for two, and Ukraine's lead is back out to 10 points. Unexpectedly there, not really unexpectedly, sorry, Coach Trifanovic will call a timeout for Slovenia. He needs to stop the easy scores that Ukraine are getting at the moment. Wants to talk it over with his team. Let's jump into the Slovenian huddle and listen to what the coaching staff have to say. Unbelievable stat there for Slovenia. 0 from 10 from the perimeter. I'm not sure you could have ever said that of a Slovenian team before. That is an unbelievable statistic. And it's not that they've been chased off the perimeter. Ukraine have given them options on the perimeter. They've just not hit them. That said, you live by the 3, you die by the 3. And at some point, Slovenia are going to start hitting those long shots. Will Ukraine be able to withstand that barrage when it does come eventually? Slovenia really have struggled from the perimeter so far. Rebets now. Back to Corsi. He hands it off to Hrovat. Floats inside, right hand. A little bit too heavy, but Corsi will grab the rebound. He's in amongst 3 Ukrainian players, though, and Kravtsov rips the ball away, and Corsi's going to be called for the foul. As we see a replay of that, Kravtsov just the bigger, stronger player in that situation. And this is part of the problem for Slovenia. Lacking some size. The likes of Vidmar and Randolph certainly provide them with a bit more physicality than this roster has. As Kravtsov hits the first of his 2 free throws. And Slovenia are going to have problems now. They've got the 5 fouls in the quarter, which means they're going to keep sending Ukraine to the line. And to receive Sanin into the game for Ukraine for the first time. Slovenia now, ball in the hands of Rebets. Back to Chanchar. Chanchar, little hesitation on the 3, drives inside. It's a tough move, can't get it to go, and Bobrov will grab the rebound. Hands it off to Blizniak. Inside to Bobrov. Ripped away, good hands by Hrovat. To Chanchar. He's going to slow it down, and not sure that's wise. They're playing best when they're a little bit quicker. Chanchar now. Too stagnant, and it's easy to defend as Sanin gets into the action straight away. Beautiful play by Isaac Sanin. And what a summer he's had. Drafted 44th in the NBA draft by Washington. Played in the Summer League. Bright future ahead for him. He throws it off the foot of Chanchar. And Ukraine with their biggest lead of the game now, 12 points. Kravtsov looking for options in front of him, and Ukraine have got a beautiful fluid offense. It really does offer options on the first run through of their offense. Then they drop into utilizing the pick and roll. What can Sanon do? Little step back. He's going to get called for the offensive foul. Way too obvious. Push away. Only the second team foul of the quarter for Ukraine. Let's watch that left arm just shove Rebets away, and he knew it was coming. Matic Rebets, he may be young, but he's also quite experienced. He knew the handoff was coming, that he was going to receive a little bit of a push, and made sure that it was obvious to the officials. Into the game comes Alexander Kobets. As the Ukrainian fans lift the decibels a few notches as they can smell blood in the water almost, as it were. Mudic now going to work. Tough move as he fades away. Will he get the roll? And that's been the tail of the tape for Slovenia. They've got the shots, they've just not got the rub of the ring at the moment. Bobrov now to Sanin. Kobets way short this time, and Hrovat will bring the rebound down and try to get the offense started, but Ukraine's transition defense is strong. Rebets for 3. He's wide of the mark. And Slovenia's woe from the perimeter continues. 0 from 11 now from outside. Blizniak lucky not to get an offensive foul called there. Almost stripped away as Corsi gets in front of Kravtsov, but it's inside to Bobrov. What's going to be called? A travelling violation is going to be called on Bobrov. Just 3.5 minutes left here in the second quarter. But Boyakin comes back into the game for Ukraine. Just one score to his name, but what a score it was right at the end of the first quarter, the corner three. And this is what Slovenia need, in my opinion. Rebec's putting a little bit of pace, and it just unsettles the Ukrainian defense a little bit more. But Sanon's read that pass, as has everyone else in the arena, and he's out for an easy two. In transition, Isef Sanon. Wonderful start to his World Cup campaign. A couple of steals to his name. Rebec's inside, little fake, looking for options. It's come out now. Markovic can't get it to go, and once again they miss from the perimeter. Boyakin now. Ball goes inside to Bobrov. Good ball movement, Boyakin. Sanon for three in the corner. In and out this time. 14-point lead for Ukraine, and that really has told you how this game has gone so far. Ukraine have been strong on both ends of the floor. Rebets now inside, little right hand float, too shallow on the trajectory, and Boyakin will scoop up the loose ball. Slows things down as Ukraine go into their offensive structure. It's thrown away this time though, and it's an outlet pass to Hrovats. Easy lay-in for two. And that will reduce the Ukrainian lead to 12 points. 2 minutes left on this second quarter clock, and Coach Merzin will call the timeout. He'll want to make sure that they protect that double-digit lead before they go into the half-time break. Let's jump into his timeout. Let's have a listen to what he has to say to the team. Both huddles pretty calm so far, and Sanon certainly has made an impact since he's come in. And Hrovats has had a pretty strong game for Slovenia. He leads their scoring with 8 points, 3 boards, a little over 12.5 minutes for him. But the biggest concern for Slovenia will be that they are yet to hit a three, and it's not like they haven't tried. They've taken 12 attempts from the perimeter. They've not hit one. If they want to get back into this one, they're certainly going to have to change that statistic. Forsey will come back into the game to no doubt have a battle with that man there, Kravtsov. He's had it his own way so far. 10 points notched up to him in this game. 2 minutes left to play. Boyakin now is going to draw the foul. Hrovat is going to be called for the foul. Easy call for the officials to make. Pretty good innocent face there by Gregor Hrovat though. Now having a quick chat with the official. Boyakin will go to the line for 2 shots though. The 23-year-old guard applies his trade in the Ukrainian domestic league for Mavpete. Undersized, but certainly doesn't let that get in the way of things as Kravtsov gets the offensive rebound. Sanon back to Boyakin. Inside to Kravtsov. Can he hold on to it? He can. He can't quite get an accurate shot away though. And Rebets will bring it back the other way. He's got to have drawn the foul there. He was certainly forcing the action, but it looked like quite a bit of body contact, but no call. It's going to be a turnover. Ukraine will take possession I find that hard to believe that there's no call there. It is at full pace though, remember, pretty easy for us to call that. Oh, there has been a call, my mistake. There has been a foul called on the play. Hrovat now. Back to Rebets. And they need him to force the action a little bit. Back to Hrovat, into Dimets. Dimets looking to bang his way inside. Uses his forehead to get some space in the paint, and it's an old school move. Originates really from the 70s. It's a real Bill Russell move. And a Walton move from the NBA. Pushing your forehead into a player's chest just to give you that half a metre space, and that's going to be an offensive foul, is it? Or is it going to be called on Bjarkin, who was trying to slip over the top of the screen? Bjarkin is going to be called for that foul. Tries to get over the screen. Tough to see if Dimets was set, but presume he was. 1 minute to play here in the second quarter. Ukraine lead this one 35-25 over Slovenia. Hrovat now. Nice little change of direction. Floats inside. Kicks it back out. Muric for three. Still no joy from the perimeter. In situations like this, though, you do wonder why Hrovat doesn't just go to the basket, draw a foul, or at least take a higher percentage shot. Not a wise choice to kick it back out to the perimeter when you're not shooting well. Tough move inside. Hrovat can't get it to go, and Slovenia will come away with it. Hrovat now back out to Rebets. Quick ball movement, but then it gets stuck with Makovic, and once again Slovenia are in a stagnant offensive position here. Inside to Muric. Offensive foul's going to be called on him as Bjarkin hits the hardwood. And that will hand Ukraine what's likely to be the final possession of this second quarter. 18.9 seconds on the clock. As Blizniak comes back into the game. And Lepovi will look to bring it up over the half, being closely guarded by Rebets. He's got to be careful he doesn't get himself cornered. Manages to get past Rebets. Into the corner. Tough shot for Postosvanov. Can't get it to go. They're going to throw a Hail Mary. Oh, just comes up short from Slovenia. And that's all we have for you here in the first half. And at the half-time break, Ukraine lead this one 35-25 over Slovenia. And they'll be very happy with their first 20 minutes of work. They've dominated pretty much from start to finish in this first half. And look at that shooting percentage, 72% from two for Ukraine. But more scarily, 0 from 14 from three-point land for Slovenia. They can't afford to carry on like that if they want to win this one. Outside of that, though, reasonably similar statistics. Neither team will be happy with the turnover situation. 10 to Ukraine, 9 to Slovenia. But Ukraine will certainly be happy with a 10-point lead at the end of this first quarter. Ukraine started the game exceptionally well. They got out to an early lead, particularly from that man there, Lepovi. He quickly took himself to 7 points before Slovenia had even scored a point themselves as a team. But Slovenia battled their way back in that first quarter. They ended the first quarter 22 to Ukraine, 18 to Slovenia. And then we entered a very low-scoring second quarter indeed, as it became a little bit more of a battle, and Slovenia really struggled to find any easy shots, and they certainly didn't convert them. And Ukraine won that second quarter 13-7. And that's left us with a 10-point lead for Ukraine after 20 minutes of action. And Ukraine have led by the combination of Lepovi and Kravtsov. Both of them have got 10 points for Lepovi. He's also got 2 rebounds, 3 assists and a steal to his name. For Kravtsov, he's got 2 rebounds and a steal and a block on the box score so far at the end of the first half. For Slovenia, their leading scorer is Gregor Hrovat. He's got 8 points, 3 boards, 2 assists and 2 steals. Pretty strong 14.5 minutes from him. And just behind him is Ziga Dimets with just 6 points, 2 rebounds. But as I said, the scary statistic really is 0 from 14 from the perimeter for Slovenia. It's just something you're not used to hearing. And Ukraine really have run through their roster. That man there, Sanon, only 4.5 minutes, but he certainly made an impact. Got 2 steals, got himself a bucket as well. Plenty to play for in the second half, though. But Ukraine have led this one from start to finish. Their biggest lead, 14 points in that second quarter. It's now down to just 10 points, but still Slovenia are not firing on all cylinders. They are getting offensive rebounds, though. They've got 7 to their name so far in that first half, whereas Ukraine really only have 1. But that said, their shooting percentages are pretty low. They're only shooting 27.78% from the field. Absolutely abysmal shooting so far by Slovenia, so that is going to give you more opportunities for offensive rebounds, especially considering Ukraine are shooting over 53% from the field. They really are making their opportunities count, but it's plays like that's why they're shooting such a high percentage. They're working well offensively to make things happen. And both these teams know exactly how important this game is for both of them. At the moment, Slovenia sit at the bottom of Group I, just 2 wins to their name. Ukraine 1 place above them in 5th. They've got a 4-win, 4-loss record. So a win tonight is absolutely critical for Slovenia. And pretty much the same can be said for Ukraine. So at the half-time, Ukraine will be very happy. They lead this one 35-25 over Slovenia. A big 20 minutes of action needed from the men in green if their World Cup hopes aren't to receive a nail in the coffin. But make sure you join us back here in the arena in Zaporizhzhia in Ukraine for more World Cup qualifying basketball action. Welcome back to Zaporizhzhia in Ukraine for this World Cup qualifier between Ukraine and Slovenia. We've had an interesting first 20 minutes of action here, as Ukraine certainly have had the better of things. They lead this one 35-25 over Slovenia. Obviously both these teams absolutely critical tonight for their World Cup dreams, that they win the game, and at the halfway stage you have to say Ukraine are odds on for taking the win here. We've seen an underperforming Slovenian team stifled by Ukrainian side. They look very fluid on the offensive end at times. They struggled in the second quarter, mind. Both teams did. Only 13-7 in favour of Ukraine in that second quarter. But it's been the double act of Alexander Lepovi, Vyacheslav Kravtsov, who have stolen the show for Ukraine. Both players, with 10 points apiece at this half-time break. Whereas for Slovenia, there's really no one that stepped out too much. Gregor Hrovat has 8 points to his name. Dimec has 6. But the one stat that will be most concerning for the Slovenians is 0 from 14 from three-point land. And that is something you very, very rarely hear about from any Slovenian team, domestically or internationally, including the junior age groups. You expect Slovenian teams to be able to shoot the ball well. And that certainly hasn't been the case so far this evening. That said, if the Slovenians can get their outside game going here in the second half, then maybe they can fight their way back into this one. Still plenty to play for here in this Group I game. Slovenia currently bottom of that table, 6th. They've only got 2 wins to their name from their 8 games, whilst Ukraine have 4. And a win tonight would really help Ukraine's dream stay alive, where a loss for Slovenia could really be a nail in the coffin of their World Cup hopes. Also going on this evening in Group I, Turkey have beaten Spain by 2 points in Ankara, and half an hour behind this game is Latvia versus Montenegro. But back here in Zaporizhzhia, we've got 20 more minutes of action, and Coach Stefanovic, I'm sure, will have had plenty of messages to get across to his team in that locker room during the half-time break. They're getting open shots, but their shooting percentage is absolutely woeful. Shooting under 28% from the field, and in comparison, Ukraine is shooting north of 53%. And that really is a bit of a tale of the game. It shows you how this one has boiled down after the first 20 minutes. And the crowd here in Zaporizhzhia have enjoyed this game greatly so far. They've certainly made some noise for their team in the white, yellow and blue. And the fans black in Ljubljana will be hoping for a better second half than they've seen in the first from their players in green. As we're moments away now. And the second half is underway here in Zaporizhzhia, and Ukraine will get things underway. They lead by 10 at the end of the first half. Does Slovenia have enough in the tank to fight their way back into this one? Or is the Ukrainian team going to be just too strong for them? Blizniak now moves the ball well. That's a long, long three, and it's come up short. A scrap for the rebound, and Chanchar will bring the rebound down for Slovenia. Gets it into the hands of Hrovat. To Rebec. Jabashik, back to Rebec. Chanchar to Rebec. They're really struggling to find any kind of form on the offensive end at the moment. It's very stale. Jabashik drives the baseline, hands it inside to Dimec, but it's knocked away. Wait to see. It's going to be a shot clock violation. Coach Stefanovic is pleading the case on the sideline for Slovenia, but it's going to be a turnover, which will mean a Ukrainian ball on the baseline. And Slovenia are going to apply some pressure on the ball. Kravtsov will be forced to bring it up. The big man taking over point guard responsibilities. Hands it off quickly to Byarkin, much to his relief and I think some of the fans in the stands. Knocked away by Dimec, and that has to be a key for Slovenia in this second half. They need to either deny the ball into the low post or push the low post a little bit further out because in that first half, the Ukrainian team were able to find players right under the basket, and once you receive the ball there, not an awful lot you can do as a defensive team or player. Dimets and Krasov coming together. Here's Boyakin, shot clock down to 4, floats with the right hand. Is he going to get the roll? Not this time, and it's off the hands of Boyakin, so it's still going to be, sorry, it's going to change possession to Slovenia. So much at stake for both of these sides. The World Cup hopes hang in the balance. Chanchar now, oh, lovely little change direction. Can't get the and one, but has earned himself a trip to the line. And that foul's going to be called on Ostosvanov, who tries to chase him back, and it's such a simple thing. A slight feint of shoulder, a slight feint of direction change. Open the lane up for Vlatko Chanchar. The 21-year-old has become an important part of the Slovenian national team during these qualifiers. Scores the first of his free throw attempt. Back at the line for the second. Connects with that one as well, and Slovenia will be grateful to get their scoring underway earlier than they did in the second quarter. It took them 3.5 minutes to break the seal on the basket in the second quarter. Krapsov now going up against Dimets. And the press seems to be working from Slovenia now. They're applying a bit of a 1-2-1-1 press. It's at least slowing the Ukrainian team down a little bit. Krapsov now looking for Blizniak under the basket. Can't get the jumper to go. And it's going to go out of bounds. And Slovenia will take possession. You can feel a nervousness in the arena as you feel it's a slightly different Slovenian team that have turned up. As I say that, Rebets drops it straight out of bounds. I apologise to the Slovenian fans for cursing them. It'll be a Ukrainian ball on the side as Bobrov comes back into the game for Ukraine, and he was influential in that first half. 4 points, 4 rebounds on the box score for him. Blizniak now inside, floats up. Dimets and Chanchar combine to stop him. Rebets now looking for options in front of him. Lovely crossover, loses his footing though. Shot clock is down to just 10 seconds now. Grovats looking to go past Boyakin, manages to, but Boyakin's going to foul him as he slides past him to the basket. Boyakin pleading his innocence. Let's have a look. Tough to see from that angle. The officials having a good night so far though, and made the right calls within what has been a tough game, and the Slovenians won't be happy to see Lepovi come back into the game. He's had a very hot start to the game. First 7 points of the game from anywhere was scored by Lepovi. He's up to 10 points now, 3 assists, 2 boards. He's only played a little over 10 minutes, so he's going to come back into the game pretty fresh. Rovats reduces the Ukrainian lead further. And takes his personal tally to 10 points now, and the Ukrainian lead is down to 6. You can sense the nerves here in the arena in Zaporizhzhia. Krapsov to Lepovi. Lepovi, little change of direction. Looking to get Chubashik on his back. It's handed out, and that's a big shot from Bobrov. You can feel the air come back into the arena. As the lead is back up to 9. Certainly hasn't been a game that's been contested in the perimeter. Neither team really lighting it up from outside. Certainly not the Slovenians. Blizniak now is fouled by Chubashik. First team foul of the quarter. First foul of the quarter from either side. As Chubashik almost slightly cynically stops the transition offense. My apologies, it's not the first foul of the quarter. It's just the graphics yet to catch up. Lepovi now to Blizniak. Bobrov sets the screen and rolls. Nothing there though. Good covering defense by Chanchar. Lepovi floats it inside of Kravtsov, and he takes a forearm in the back from Dimets and hits the ground. Felt a little bit WWE. Oh, in fact, it was from Raybets. When you're giving up numerous centimetres in height, I suppose, any which way you can to stop the big man. Lepovi into the corner now to Blizniak. Oh, off the glass. My goodness me. Be interesting to see a replay of that one. A wry smile on Blizniak's face. Lead is up to 12. How quickly the game changes. A couple of threes from Ukraine, and the momentum has once again transferred to them. Dimets comes up short with the mid-range jumper. That's a tough pass for Bobrov to hold on to. And Slovenia will gratefully scoop up the loose ball. Raybets now, step back three. Oh, he drains the three. Big shot by Raybets. That's their first of the game, shooting 6.7% from the perimeter. 1 from 15, Slovenia. My goodness, that's a statistic that's going to make you weep for a while if you're a Slovenian fan. Raybets now for another three. Can't get that one to go. Kravtsov will try and save it, and he manages to. Knocks it back into Martinenko. Now in the hands of Lepovi. Gives it back to Blizniak. A little hesitation inside, and it's off his hand, so it's going to be a Slovenian ball on the baseline. Blizniak slowly gets back to his feet, and we'll see Jan Korsi come back into the game. It's good defense ultimately there by Slovenia. And Dimets has gone to the bench as Korsi comes in. And Yevgen Merzin will be reasonably happy with his team's performance so far. We'll know how quickly things can change though in international basketball. Hrovats for three. Too heavy with that one, and the perimeter woes continue for Slovenia. Lepovi, Blizniak, easy two in transition. And a timeout is going to be called here. 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Coach Trifanovic will call a timeout for Slovenia. And where are the solutions coming from for Slovenia? We're yet to see them. They started this third quarter reasonably well, but Ukraine have once again gone back into dominating position. They're back up by 11. Let's jump into the Slovenian huddle and listen to what they've got to say. And Ukraine have taken control of this game again. Slovenia really are on the ropes so far. They haven't had a lead in this game. Ukraine have led from start to finish. Their biggest lead was 14 points. We're not too far away from that now. It's back up to 11 points. 5 minutes left in the third quarter. Slovenia really do need to string a few minutes of good basketball together to blow this one back open. It's going to be a Slovenian ball as we come back into the action. And Raybets now with possession. Hands it off to Hrovats. To Glass, back to Raybets. Good ball movement. Hrovats will drive the baseline and gets caught on the leg on his way through, but it's back outside now to Jabashik. He's not going to get the roll, and the battle for the rebound is going to be won by by Glass. Graybets now uses the horn screen set by Corsi and Jabashik, and he'll fade away and can't quite get the jumper to go, and that really has been how the game has gone for Slovenia, but we're out at the races now. A long three, gets it to go, and Ukraine continue to apply more and more pressure. Kobets draining the three, really is opening the game up. Yeah, joint game high, 14-point lead for Ukraine now. Raybets into the corner, hesitation, but he steps out of bounds. More and more mistakes coming from the Slovenians as Jabashik turns the ball over. Bratec will come into the game for Slovenia. Just 20-year-old Aleš Bratec. Lepovi now for Ukraine. Double teams, manages to find the pass, comes outside now, back to Kobets. Almost another three for him. Bobrov will grab the rebound ahead of Jabashik this time though, and it's another Kobets too. He's really starting to take control offensively. That's 5 points quickly chalked up to Alexander Kobets. And it's stolen away by Bratec now as Sanon receives a behind the back pass, and this is beautiful basketball, but good defense by Slovenia, and Glass is going to be called for the foul. Wonderful basketball by Ukraine. And here's the foul as Glass gets Lepovi's arms all hooked up. Muric will come back into the game for Slovenia. Maybe a little bit too much youth on the court for Slovenia at the same time. A little bit too much inexperience at this level. Muric certainly brings the experience average up. Just 26 years old himself though, but obviously won the gold at Eurobasket in Istanbul last year. So knows how to win. Bobrov back to Sanon. To Lepovi, fakes a three inside of Kravtsov. It's stolen away though, and that's a smart move by Corsi. Bratec's now being harassed by Sanon. Sanon going to be called for the foul. Bratec looks to drive past him, and he's just half a yard away from getting the position he needed to, and Ukraine with a game-high 16-point lead. 3 minutes and 3 seconds left here in the third quarter. Muric now moves the screen set by Corsi and drives the lane. Can't get the lay in. It's followed by Corsi, and he can't get it to go either. Stolen back by Chanchar in the corner. No joy from outside for him, and it's been a night to forget so far for Slovenia, and Bobrov has thrown it straight out of bounds. It'll be a Slovenian ball. They're arguing the case, saying it came off the leg of Muric. They'll try and get Gurdin back into the game for Kravtsov, and Boyakin's waiting to come in for Lepovi as well. Ukraine really are in full control of this one. Hard to see Slovenia coming back into it. They certainly do have the firepower to get their way back into it, but it's going to take a Herculean effort. Corsi now to Muric. Sorry, Mesicek. Mesicek looking to drive inside. Strong move. It's tough off the glass. Oh, he gets the roll, though. Smart move by the 21-year-old shooting guard. Boyakin now. Kobets to Boyakin, drains the three. You can hear the appreciation from the crowd, and the crowd here in Zaporizhzhia are sensing the win. 2 minutes to play in the third quarter. Ukraine lead by 17. Bratec now being harassed once again by Sanon. And it's come off Sanon's hand. He's absolutely everywhere though. He wants to make his mark on the international game as soon as he can. Oh, that might have looked like it came off Gregor Glass's hand. Someone can feel a little bit hard done by. Blatets now. To Mesicek. To Blatets, little shake, drives inside, loses the ball again though. He's had a tough introduction. Boyakin. Kobets for three. Oh, Ukraine are lighting it up now. They're enjoying their basketball. And their lead is out to a game-high 20 points. Under 90 seconds left in this third quarter. Inside, Corsi can't get it to go. Rebound by Gelan. And Ukraine are absolutely dominating proceedings here. Boyakin inside to Bobrov. In and out, gets his own rebound, can't get that one to go. And Slovenia will be grateful for the rebound. Muric now going inside against Bobrov. Off the glass, that one's short. Sanin with the rebound. Long outlet pass, beautiful vision by Boyakin, and Bobrov will take the two. Ukraine are looking like the European champions and Slovenia are looking like the underdogs. That's how this game has played out so far. Yes, Slovenia may be missing some of their key players, but the same could be said for Ukraine as well. You have to give a hat tip to Ukraine. They've come with a game plan and they've executed it perfectly so far, and that's given them a 22-point lead over Slovenia. And not only is it given them a 22-point lead, but in the last 20 minutes of basketball, Slovenia have scored just 16 points. That's unbelievable defensive intensity from Ukraine. Yes, Slovenia haven't made the most of their opportunities, but Ukraine have forced them to take some tough shots as well. Boyakin now being guarded by Glass. Kobets, a little bit too much weight on that one, but Sanin will grab the rebound. And Ukraine will take the last shot of this third quarter. Less than a second differential shot clock, game clock. Boyakin inside. It comes up short. Geran will go again though. Geran will get the two, and that will be the end of the third quarter. And Ukraine have absolutely dominated the European champions here in Zaporizhzhia. End of the third quarter, 58 to Ukraine, 34 to Slovenia. Only 10 minutes left here, and Ukraine are in full control.
World. The FIBA Basketball World Cup is right here. Want it? Come and get it.
Kobe Bryant says it best there. You want it, come and get it. Both these teams certainly do want it. Here are some of the statistics for you. The woeful shooting percentage continues from outside for Slovenia, just 5%. 1 from 19 is absolutely atrocious, whilst Ukraine are shooting good percentages across the board. That was the first three and only three of the game for Slovenia, whilst Ukraine have absolutely dominated proceedings in that third quarter, outscoring Slovenia 23-9. Bobrov is up to 9 points, Krasov's 10, Lipovi 10, Kobets 8, Lizniak 7, and then you look across to Slovenia, Horvat with 10, and Rebec and Dimets with 6 apiece. Outside of that, very little going on. They've been exceptionally stagnant on the offensive end, and they've given up some easy scores on the defensive end. Wonderful transition basketball with a Boyakin pass to Bobrov there. 10 minutes to go. Could this be the nail in the coffin for Slovenia's World Cup dreams? Unbelievable to think it was only in September last year, 14 months ago, that they were crowned European champions. Not only their first ever title, but their first ever medal at any championship. But 10 minutes to go here in Zaporizhia. Do they have it in the gas tank to come back into this one? The odds would say no, but my goodness me, the odds probably said that before they started Eurobasket last year. So let's have a watch and see what they've got. Ribets now inside to Dimets. Dimets, little turnaround jumper, no good. Muric with the rebound, and it's stolen away by Yarkin, but the foul is going to be called. We're going to wait to see who that's on. I think it's on that man there, Isuf Sanon. He's been here, there, and everywhere so far in this one. Just 19 years old, first experience of the Ukrainian national team in these World Cup qualifiers. As Ukraine drop into a 2-3 zone. Rebets now waits for the screen from Dimets. Looks to come back to Hrovats and can't. To Rebets for three. Drains another one. That doubles the number of threes that Slovenia has scored in the game so far. Both of them coming from the hands of Matic Rebets. Boyarkin. He's had a strong game, as has that man there, Kobets. Boyarkin really has controlled the tempo well when he's been in charge. As I say, that almost throws it out of bounds. It's off a Slovenian hand though, so it's going to stay in the possession of Ukraine. Timeout has been called. There's only 3.1 seconds left on the shot clock. But Ukraine, and in particular head coach Yevgen Murzin, will be happy with his team's performance so far. Let's fly into his timeout huddle and listen to what he's got to say. Another telltale sign in those statistics for a team that are struggling. Just 7 assists for Slovenia. That said, they've obviously not scored an awful lot, so the assist numbers are going to be low. 18 assists for Ukraine, though. Just showing the team basketball they're playing. 3.1 seconds left on the shot clock. What can Ukraine do in 3.1 seconds? Turn the ball over is the answer. And Slovenia will bring it back the other way. Back to Lebets. Floats inside, kicks it back out. Long jumper is good to go. Blaj Mesicek drains the three. And they'll need plenty more of those to get back into this one. Ukrainian lead still at 18 points. Boyarkin now. Looking to feed the post, but Dimets does well to front it. Out to Kobets. In and out for the three. That's a check, finds Rebets. Almost skips the pass, almost intercepted. Rovets inside, and he's fouled. Sanem will be called for the foul. And there's the inexperience for Isuf Sanem. I think that's his third foul. Rovets drives strong to the basket. That will send Rovat to the line for 2 shots. His trade for Midi Bayreuth in Germany. Been part of the FIBA Basketball Champions League this season for Bayreuth. Big game tonight. Only been averaging 1.7 points per game so far in the qualifiers. A lot more resting on his shoulders this evening. Makes 1 of 2 from the line there. Sanon now. Hands it off to Kobets. Gedda now with the ball on the outside. Looking for options, hands it off to Sanon. Sanon, little hesitation. Out to Bobrov. In and out, no joy. But the rebound is there for the fight. And It's going to be a scrap on the floor for this one. Who's coming away with it? The officials are going to say it's all tied up. So we'll go to the possession indicator. And that's not hit behind Coach Merzin's head, if you're all wondering. I'll just wait to see which direction possession has fallen, but hustle and energy there. Ukraine will hold on to possession. 8 seconds left on the shot clock. Just under 8 minutes left on the game clock. Lepovi now inbounds it to Kobets. Ukraine play a lovely style of team basketball. Plenty of movement, plenty of screening off the ball. A long three from Sanan, and he drains it. My goodness. The young man gets the big three, and a steal at the other end for Lepovi. Everything going Ukraine's way right now. Kobet slows it down, hands it off to Sanan. Back-to-back three attempts. Oh, and he drains it! That young man has turned up to play. Isaac Sanan, back-to-back threes. He's up to 8 points personal now. A bright, bright future for him on the international stage. Rebets now inside. Horvat drives the baseline, strong move. Can't get it to go, and Sanan will grab the rebound. Out to Lepovi, throws the pass to Bobrov. Plenty of hanging around there by Bobrov. And that's a beautiful play by Ukraine. Really puts a lovely light to their performance here this evening. And you can see the body language from Slovenia. They are absolutely punch drunk at the moment. They're on the ropes and they know it. They look shell-shocked. Let's jump into Coach Trifunovic's huddle and listen to what he has to say. This is a huge signal, really, from Ukraine about what their intentions are and where they are on the world stage of basketball. Plenty of young talent coming through the ranks in Ukrainian basketball. And that young man there is a prime example. Isaac Sanan, back-to-back threes. And then Lepovi giving it to Bobrov for the throwdown. Hangs around to put some ice on that cake. And can Slovenia fight their way back into this one? Surely it's a tall order for them to come back in. 25 points down, just under 7 minutes to play. That said, if there's an international team that are willing to fight themselves out of holes, it is Slovenia. But over and over again, they're making unforced errors. And it certainly hasn't been their night or even their qualification campaign. Ukraine now with the ball. They'll want to ice this game as soon as they can. Maybe add a little bit of style to the finish as well. Inside to Gedon. To Lepovi. To Sanan for three. Another three for Isaac Sanan. And that's a triple of triples in this third quarter. All the threes for him. Up to 11 points personal, shooting 75%. Muric now. He's going to go strong against Bobrov. Pulls up for the tough shot. Can't get it to go. And Blizniak will come away with it. Inside to Gedon. And he's going to be fouled. Mesacek will be called for the foul on that one. And Slovenia are all at sea here. Zaporizhzhia. And Gregor Glass will come back into the game for Slovenia. Zebets will go to the line, go to the bench. Gerin will be the one going to the line for Ukraine. And this is not a result many people will have called. And this has been pretty much indicative of Slovenia's qualification campaign so far. They've been outclassed here this evening by a very impressive Ukrainian team. As Guerin goes back to the line for the second. He's definitely in the ascendancy, even though he misses that second. He was MVP of Leb Gold in Spain, the second tier of Spain last season. Another Ukrainian player that is on the up. Glass now with the ball. To Hrovats, right hand floater, gets it to go. Gregor Hrovats. Boyakin now slows things down for Ukraine, and it really is a little bit of clock management here for Ukraine, really. As Bobrov is fouled with Makovic and Hrovats coming for the double team on him. As we see here, Hrovats coming in to help out on the double team. Makovic is called for the foul. Into the corner for Blesniak. He can't get it to go and puts up the air ball. Chanchar will come back the other way as it knocked away by Sanon. Another steal for him. Blesniak, easy two off the glass, and this is a walk in the park for Ukraine now. 28-point lead for Ukraine over Slovenia. So much pressure on the shoulders of Coach Trifanovic now. No doubt questions will start being asked. What needs to change within the Slovenian national team? They've gone from European champions to what looks like dropping out of the World Cup qualifiers in the space of 14 months. Unfortunately, professional sports often look at the coaching staff. As he gets it to go, Makovic will earn a trip to the line as well. As I was saying, unfortunately in professional sports, the first spotlight to be shone when things aren't going the right way is often at the coaching staff, whether that's fair or not. Trifanovic, a relatively young coach, just 45 years old, obviously been involved in the Slovenian national team setup for an awful long time. Let's hope he gets given a little bit more time to prove himself. Slovenia obviously still in with a chance, but it's a big outside chance of making it through to the World Cup finals if they lose here this evening. That would move them to a 2-7 record after 9 games. That would leave them adrift from the bottom of the table. And Sanon is being pressured out of bounds. Whereas for Ukraine, this will move them to a 5-4 record if they can hold on to the win here. Depending on what happens in Latvia and Montenegro, will depend on how the Group I looks after these games, these first games of this window. Obviously these teams will regroup for their fixtures on Sunday. Gedan now, back to Boyakin. Bobrov for 3, that's rejected by Chanchar. Quick pass out, and the foul's going to be called as Ukraine look to stop the fast break. 3:31 left on the clock, and into the game comes Ryabchuk and Kobets. Also in Group I earlier this evening in Ankara, Turkey defeated Spain 71-67. That puts both of those teams on a 7-win, 2-loss record. It's going to be an interesting game. Return leg in Spain. That will be the final game for both of those teams. That will be under the 25th of Feb for them to replay each other. But here in Zaporizhzhia, Ukraine have put on an absolute basketball masterclass against Slovenia. Lesniak now to the basket. And Guerin follows for the easy put back on the 2. 34-point lead now as Mesicek goes to work inside and gets a 2 off the glass. Real opportunity for some of the younger players like Blaz Mesicek to stamp a bit of a claim on a national team jersey for Slovenia now. Kobec goes to the wing to Boyakin. Boyakin looks to drive the baseline. Feeds it inside to Gerin. Hands it off to Kobec, and another easy 2 for Ukraine. And they really are going through the motions offensively now. Finding easy score after easy score. Hrovat comes back out now to Makovic. Back to Hrovat. Trying to find some space against Gerin. Almost out of bounds, but Chanchar rescues it. Shot clock down to 4. He's going to have to step back for the 3. Off to the left. 2 Slovenian players for the rebound, though, and Mesicek will get the 2. As we come into the closing stages of this one. Boyakin being pressurised by Makovic, but manages to get away to Kobec, who hands it back to him. 2 minutes left on the game clock now. Kobec fakes out 2 players, hands it off to Blazniak. And the unsportsmanlike foul is going to be called. Wonderful shot fake from Kobec. And the unsportsmanlike foul has been called. So Ukraine will not only get the bonus shot, but Makovic has handed possession to Ukraine as well. Dernik will come back into the game in place of Chanchar for Slovenia. Blazniak adds to his total. He's up to 10 points personal now. 7 boards, 4 assists. Certainly been a good night at the office for him. And chalks another one up to his name as well. And Ukraine will take possession at the side. 1:56 left to play here in Zaporizhzhia. In what has been a classic night for Ukrainian basketball. Absolutely dominated this one from the opening tip all the way through to the final stages. Blazniak behind the back, almost loses his man. Can't quite control the ball though. Boyakin too heavy. Kobec will grab the rebound for Ukraine though. Ball back out to Blazniak. Blazniak now looking for options. Little hesitation, floats inside, tries to skip it to the corner, but it's intercepted. Hrovat will slow it down for Slovenia, and that has been the problem for Slovenia. They've slowed absolutely everything down. They've got no easy baskets. They've got very few transition baskets, and you're going to struggle to win games if you don't get easy baskets. To give you the stats on the back of that is Ukraine have scored 27 points from fast breaks. Slovenia have scored 12. And that really does give you a bit of a clue to how Ukraine have dominated this one. 26-point lead for them at the moment. A steal. As Mesicek comes away with it, looks to throw the poster down, but fluffs his lines. And the long rebound comes out to Blazniak. Stolen away. Nope, it's not. He holds on to it. Kobec for 3. Drains the 3. Adding some icing to the top of the cake. Alexander Kobec. 1 minute to play, just under now. 29-point lead for Ukraine. And this will go down in the history books of Ukraine. What a huge, huge win. Kobec's out now, and he's going to be fouled. That one's going to be called on Makovic. Kobec has hit the deck quite hard, though, holding onto his left knee. That's the last thing they'll want to see. They have a big game on Sunday as they get on the road to take on Spain. Obviously, Spain currently sitting joint top of the group with Turkey. As the officials are going to review this one to see if it's an unsportsmanlike foul. If it is, that will be the end of Makovic. I'm not sure that warrants an unsportsmanlike. We'll have to wait and see. Tough to see on that one. Just a regular foul being called. Smart decision from the officials. I don't think that warranted it, but that's not what you want to see. You're up by 29 with under a minute to play, and Alexander Kobec is being helped to the bench by 3 of his teammates. And they only have 2 days well, 3 days really to recover until they take on Spain on the road. And Kobets has been an important part of their win tonight. 13 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. He's played just over 18 minutes of action. They'll be hoping it's something minor as the medical staff come across to see him. But Mononenko will come into the game for him as Pastosvanov will take his place at the line. Plays his basketball for Dynamo Odessa in the Ukrainians' top division. Connects with both from the line. He's up to 2 points now, his first of the game. Mesicek now. Long shot from Chanchar. Gets it to go. Sorry, it's Gregor Glass. And it's stolen away by Hrovats. Final 20 seconds, about a 1.5 second differential shot clock, game clock. So Slovenia likely to pretty much get the final shot of this one if they run it all the way down. Blaz Mesicek now with the ball at the top. Going up against Geran. Into the corner, Glass. Out of bounds though. Frustrating as a coach and a fan to see a player not know where he is on the floor. That will give Ukraine the final shot. 4.1 seconds left on the game clock. They won't take the shot as Pastosvanov will just hold on to the ball. But what a game here for Ukrainian basketball. They have defeated the European champions, winning Slovenia 82-54. Absolutely dominant from start to finish. And their World Cup dream stays alive while Slovenia's takes a massive, massive hit. What a game we've had here for you in Zaporizhzhia. We've had an absolute humdinger for the home crowd to enjoy. First quarter pretty close. Ukraine came out of the blocks pretty quickly. Lepovi with the first 7 points of all scorers. Slovenia battled their way back into it. End of the first quarter, Ukraine led by 4. We went into a bit of a scrappy second quarter. But Ukraine managed to extend their lead out to 10. And that man there, Kravtsov, had a big, big night. Got plenty of rest as well, because it was quite a wide open game. He'll be ready for the game against Spain on Sunday. And that man there as well, Lepovi, was a huge, huge contributor here this evening. So Ukraine held a 10-point lead at the half, and then they absolutely dominated the third quarter, outscoring Slovenia 23-9, and that really was all she wrote. With 10 minutes left to play, Ukraine had all but secured the win, and the fans there, as you can see, love their players, and this is how the sport has grown in Ukraine through fan support. The statistic to pull from that one is the 17% from threes for Slovenia. Absolutely atrocious, and Ukraine playing some beautiful team basketball. 26 assists. Neither team will be happy with the turnover ratios. Way too many lost possessions for both teams they'll want to work on, but plenty for Coach Trifunovic there to talk with his fellow coaches and his team in the locker room. Here's your game leaders. Hrovats 13 points for Slovenia. Kobets 13 for Ukraine. Sanon and Hrovats both 3 steals apiece for Ukraine and Slovenia respectively. But plenty of happy faces here in the arena. Zaporizhzhia will have a party tonight. There's no two ways about that. They've seen one of the classic performances of Ukrainian basketball. And I'm not sure Kravtsov is going to make his way back to the locker room anytime soon. Plenty of people queuing up for a photo with him. But he did absolutely have a big night here. 10 points, 6 rebounds. Managed to get himself some rest as well. He only played just over 20 minutes of action. But leading scoring for Ukraine was Alexander Kobets, 13 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. Worryingly though for Ukraine, he was carried off the court at the end of the action there. They'll hope that's only a small injury and nothing too serious. but also in double digits for Ukraine is Blizniak and Bobrov and Sanon, all with 11 points, as well as Lipovi on 10 points as well. Slovenia scoring reasonably woeful, only 2 standouts. Gregor Hovat, 13 points, 4 boards, 3 assists, 3 steals. And then Blaž Mesicek, 12 points, 3 boards, 2 assists and 2 steals as well. Plenty for the Slovenians to talk about in the locker room and across the weekend before they get ready for their game on Sunday at home to Latvia. They're playing Montenegro at the moment in what is another crucial game here in Group I of the European Qualifiers for the World Cup. So much at stake for these countries. Earlier tonight, Turkey managed to secure a 4-point win over Spain in Ankara. And at the moment, Latvia are leading Montenegro by just 1 point in Riga. Just under 8 minutes left in the third quarter in that one. But as it stands, Slovenia will finish this evening bottom of Group I in 6th place with a 2-win, 7-loss record. As Ukraine will progress to a 5-win, 4-loss record. Where that will take them, we're yet to see. It could leave us with 3 teams on the same. But thank you for joining me for this World Cup action. There's your standings. As I said, Montenegro, Latvia and Ukraine could all have the same record at the end of tonight's action. What an exciting second game of action we'll have here in Group I on Sunday. And Slovenia is back to the drawing board once again. But the final score here in Zaporizhzhia, Ukraine 82, Slovenia 54.